Recreating the old textures is so important. It's what makes us feel related, connected. It's what gives the friendly feeling when we look at something. And it has to do with the contrast, the unevenness, the variety of colors and texture, because that's what makes us feel comfortable. The moment we see something that is exactly the same many times, whether it's in tiles or flat surfaces, we cannot relate to it. And the way light bounces from an uneven surface, it is a much more complex refraction that we are getting. And our eyes, our brain, process that as something that is organic and that is friendly. And that's what makes us feel good. And that's what they've created here. The courtyard is the protected hub of any farmhouse. It's where people socialize, get together, sort the grain, and so on. And here too, Sharon and Ross have recreated quite a wonderful feeling. Overhangs, pergolas, alcoves, little details. This is what makes a feeling of inviting and details for the eye to rest on. This is not a museum, and while it is a classic example of the French provincial style transported over here, it's also a house that is lived in every day. And while we may have expressed ourselves through every aspect, tablecloths, painting, sideboards, and even collecting fruit and letting them dry on the table, we also enjoy this wholeheartedly in simple things like having lunch. Before Ross and Sharon lived here, they came as often as possible to continue working. This is evident in the texture of the walls, which reflects the availability of materials at the time of each successive pouring. In many ways, this intermittent approach adds to the authentic provincial quality.
And with the seasons, and if somebody down the road had some material that they didn't want anymore, and they'd ring you up and say, I've got all these stones down there, I don't want them, do you guys want them? And you think, yes, definitely. Mix them up and put them in, and all that, through all that wall in there, you'll see there's little bits where there's blue metal, grey cement, because we ran out of white cement, bigger stones than we had used in the past. So it looks like it's layered over the centuries all the way up, and it's wavy. It's not just kind of like straight lines like you would get with sand. It's all over.
What they've done here is to recreate how the old walls with time move and the stones come through, the stucco has fallen off, and this is actually something that Sharon has created to give it that look and feel. The unevenness in the colors and texture, with a little door on a high lintel over there. These are all details that are found on the farmhouses. The entrance represents a great transition between the weathered stone wall of the outside, and here we still have the pebbled walls, and it gradually transitions into a semi-formal lounge that exhibits a tremendous warmth and variety, very much in the spirit of French provincial. One of the first things that struck me when I walked into this room is the light flooding in from the windows from three sides. Sunlight is so important. It's one of the elements in the south of France that is also so similar here in Australia. All the colors in here dance in perfect balance to the brightness of the light. The Versailles-style parquet flooring was cut and fitted piece by piece by Sharon herself, so that the timber floor doesn't overwhelm, and so that to allow the furniture that sits on it to be framed, the Aubusson-style rugs have been used. Originally, these rugs were very, very bright in color, and with time they faded, creating the soft feel that you see here. And even the reproductions these days are done with these faded colors. The decorative motifs on these rugs were taken from Italian and French 16th and 17th century motifs, as well as Chinese influences. An interior that works is made from tensions between contrasting elements, and here they're very much at work. The contrast between the painted furniture and the richness of the cherry wood sideboard and of the buffet is one of those tensions. The painted furniture is softer and allows for the details of the carving to be very present without being overwhelming. Another contrast is between the slightly semi-formal curtains with a toile de Jouy and the more casual country check on the chair fabrics. Here again is the tension between formal and informal. Not all the pieces have to be French. The chairs at the round table are actually Australian Edwardian, and have been given a white linen dress that simply brings a soft French quality and an informal, casual touch.